most importantly is to offer Joe a sincere and heartfelt apology in front of 200 plus witnesses. A lot of you in this room don't know this, but when Joe first came around, I basically pretended he did not exist. When Joe came into a room, I had a tendency to leave that room. I mean, this is not an exaggeration, and Joe will tell you this. I did not make eye contact with Joe for about 3.5 years. No lie. I mean, it was bad early on. I can remember a Christmas early on where Joe came over one night, brought us a Christmas gift at the end of the night. Nice gift certificate, nice restaurant. Pauline opened the gift, came into the kitchen. I was 2 rooms away helping clean up. Joe was still in the living room. Pauline showed me the gift. And I said to Joe 2 rooms away, I said, "Thanks!" Of course, Pauline was furious with me. But this was just my way, I guess, stupid test, my way to find out if this guy was the right guy for my daughter. I mean, I did not know who this guy was. I mean, we were lucky enough that we knew Joe's Aunt Karen, Uncle Bill for years, thanks to her friendship with Pauline's sister Caroline. But still, I didn't know this guy. So this was the tact I was taking. I was basically giving him a real hard time. And I got to tell you, a lot of people in this room knew I was doing that, and I told you I was doing that, and to a person, you said I'm an idiot. But there is one person in this room who actually said to me on at least 2 occasions, the only person, said, "Yo, Mr. M, love what you're doing to Joe. Keep it up, it's hilarious. Love it." Of course, that person is Joe's best friend, Mr. Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan, where are you? Thank you, much love and support for the solidarity early on. You kept me going. But eventually, I obviously got to know Joe and found out what a gentleman he was, hardworking, kind, compassionate, fun-loving. Everybody knows Joe is an amazing, amazing hang, and the perfect match for Gabrielle. But still, that didn't deter me. So in 2019, we took Joe with us to Ireland on vacation, and Pauline has a lot of cousins out over there. And when we were over there, I basically said to all of them, "Hey, I got Gabrielle's boyfriend Joe with us. Whenever you get a chance, give him a hard time." And actually, 2 of the cousins who really, really leaned into that, Orla and Evan, are with us tonight. So thank you. Thank you for being there to see this thing to completion. Looks like Joe's going to make it. But as I said, eventually, Joe showed me who he truly was. So 2 years ago, around Christmas time, when I got the phone call from Joe, I said, "Can we talk?" It was the first phone call I ever got from Joe. And I knew, oh God, this is it. This is the one. So I said, "Well, I'm at work. You can come over. We can talk in private here. I can't leave work." So he said, "Okay." So I figured, you know what? For one last old time's sake, I would be my old self. So when he got to my work, I had someone show him up to my office. I sat behind at the chair in front of my desk. I went behind my desk. I sat in my chair, folded my arms, and I said, "Speak." So at that point, Joe told me he was going to ask Gabrielle to marry him. So after that, of course, I lowered my stupid facade, and I thanked him. I thanked him for showing me the respect, the honor of letting me know he was going to do that before he did it. And to Joe's credit, all the years, I'm saying years, that I treated him this way, he never treated me anything but with respect and dignity. So, right after that, I said, "Well, I know Gabrielle's got a lot of rules. What do we got to do? What kind of rules we got?" And he said, "Well, she's going to want to party right after I asked her. We all can be there. We can all celebrate." And I knew they were leaving for Boston in like 6 days. They lived in Boston at the time because Gabrielle was a traveling nurse. And I said, "A party? I don't know." He said, "Well, I mean, maybe I can wait for the spring to ask her." I said, "Well, maybe, that might be a good idea." I said, "Well, can I tell the wife?" And Joe said, "Well, I was going to go by the house and let her know next." And I said, "That is awesome." I said, "Talk to her, and then we'll talk." So about 30 minutes after Joe leaves, I get a very excited call from Pauline, and she says, "We're having a party." I said, "No, we're not." And she said, "Yes, we are." And we went back and forth until at one point, I heard Pauline say to Joe, ask Joe, "Hey, Joe, what do you want to do?" And I could hear this in the background. And I will never forget what Joe said, and I quote, "I don't really care what we do. I just want her to be happy." So, and for a father of a daughter, no more beautiful words can be spoken. So Joe, again, apologies. Officially welcome to our family. I look forward to seeing you and Gabrielle build a life together. But you can still call me sir, because I kind of like it. As for Gabrielle, my favorite child, and I only say that because your brothers make fun of me a lot, and I also need someone to take care of me when I get older, and I know they won't. So, but in all seriousness, there's nothing I can say today. That you don't already know. I have always been so amazingly proud to be your father. Say that I'm your father. From the moment we met and I held you in my arms, to when we were little, and I used to watch you guys when I used to work at night, and we would dance, you and your brothers and me, to my favorite music, to when you were in grade school and I was your coach on softball, even when you were about to cry on the mound because you weren't doing good, and I would come out to the mound and I'd lean in and I'd whisper in your ear, "Hey, this is supposed to be fun, and if it's not, I'm going to pull you off this mound." And then I would jog away and be like, "All right, go get him, champ!" To your accomplishments in high school, decision to become a nurse, college, graduating, becoming a nurse, and then getting your first job, and even when you were basically sharing those inappropriate, disgusting stories with me, because you knew I would like them, to getting your first job at CHOP, becoming a travel nurse, and then back to CHOP, and then seeing you as a bride today. I look forward to the second part of your life. We will continue to be partners in parties and vacations, seeing you as a wife, and as a homeowner, and as a mother. You'll always be one of the two women in this world who hold my heart in your hands. Thank you for giving me so much joy in my life. Love you. So, I'm not done. I'm sorry, I'm not done. I have a quick story. And you can take this up with Steve and John. I see one of them right over there. All right, if it's too long, take it up with them. They got my back. Anyway, this story happened about a couple years ago. Gabrielle and Joe were living in Boston, and me and Pauline went to see them. And while we were there, we went out one night. We had dinner. We had a couple drinks, and then we came back to the apartment. We had a couple more drinks, and then at one point, Gabrielle and Joe said, "Let's play poker." And Joe wanted to brush up on his poker skills, and Gabrielle wanted to learn any new games that I knew. For those who don't know me, one of my favorite things to do is play games, and play cards especially, and poker is my favorite game in all the world. Those who do know me have spent many, many hours learning new games, much to your chagrin sometimes. But anyway, to learn a new poker game, you really have to bet something. It really doesn't have to be real money. It could be chips, pennies, whatever. So they didn't have those things, so I said, "You got a box of pasta." And so they didn't even have that. But I noticed there was a box of Honey Nut Cheerios up on the fridge. And I was like, perfect. So I gave each of us 50 Honey Nut Cheerios so we could bet them as chips. So we start playing. And at one point, we're playing a game of Hold'em. And we're all betting a lot of, Cheerios. So there's this giant pile of Cheerios in the middle of the table. At the end of the game, we lay down our cards. I got like a pair. Pauline had 2 pair. Gabrielle had 3 of a kind. And then Joe lays down an ace and 10 of spades. And in Hold'em, there's community cards, and there was 3 spades. So he had a flush. I said, "Oh, Joe, you won. You got the nuts." And the 3 of them stopped it, and they look at me like, "The nuts? What do you mean?" I was like, "It's a poker term. It means in a poker game, when you have the cards, you hold the cards, when there's community cards, you have the best cards. You have a hand that can't be beat. You got the nuts." So Joe stands up, slams his hands on the table, and says, "I don't got the nuts. I got the honey nuts. Let's go!" And then he ran around the apartment like he won the World Series of Poker. So everybody, if you lift your glass, Gabrielle and Joe, what you have is extremely, extremely special. You have a hand that can't be beat. So bet big. To the honey nuts, Gabrielle and Joe.